Call Oyal Bashir Shai Bashir Bukakadash, double orders to the elders of Apostle Great Bellstone and Shalom to hopeful elect. Want to get into these piece of shit, reprobate, degenerate 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, 66.6% of them, all right, as it pertains to degeneration, all right? There's no such thing as being stagnant, which is basically the lack of moving and flowing. There's no such thing as fucking stagnation, as being stagnant. There's only such thing as digression, all right? So you can't just fucking rest on your laurels and stay the same. You're actually getting worse. And as it pertains to 2/3 of our people, they're getting worse. They're getting more wicked, and they are straying even farther away from the Most High, Yahweh Shai, and righteousness and salvation. Ultimately, they're going to be fucking destroyed, man. All right? And they're not stopping the program the Heavenly Father has set up. All right? This is in Romans 1:28, and even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. All right? So they didn't want to retain the words and the knowledge of the Most High, of their power. All right? They chose their wicked flesh and their insatiable desires in the way of wickedness over the Most High. That temporal, fulfillment. And in that, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate and degenerate mind. When you look at this word reprobate, it goes into degenerate, okay? Right here, this word degenerate, being an immoral or corrupt person, a morally fucking corrupt person is a reprobate, okay? An unprincipled person, okay? No principles, no fucking morals. That's what we're dealing with 2/3 of the nation of Israel, all right? And the Most High gave them over to that mind, because he had blinded them that believe not any fucking way. They didn't believe any fucking way. And the Most High is going to keep them in that state of darkness until they be destroyed, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, man. All right? And it's not convenient for you, and it's not convenient from our nation, because it's ultimately going to get you destroyed. All right? Let's get this in get this in 2 Timothy 3:13. Slakia. Yep. It says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Okay? So when you look at wax worse, it's the literal definition of degenerate, or to degenerate. If you want to break it down, when something is generating, it's producing power, right? So to generate, producing something, producing power. But to degenerate is to lose power or lose vitality. That goes into languishing as well. The haughty people of this world they're languishing, and the language means to lose or lack vitality. There's an ultimate end to degeneration and languish. That ultimate end, if it continues on that downward trajectory, is for it to no longer exist, is death and destruction. All right. So this word degenerate as an adjective, to degenerate, it means having lost the physical, mental, or moral qualities considered normal and desirable, showing evidence of decline. So 2/3 of our people indeed are showing evidence of decline. They're waxing worse, as it says right here in the scriptures. All right, and they're being deceived in it to think that they're making it. They ultimately belong to a certain house, one of two houses. It says in 2 Samuel 3:1, now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker, showing evidence of decline. The house of Saul, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, is waxing weaker and weaker. All right, it's declining. It's going into a state of degeneration. They're in a state of degeneration. Okay, and to expound a little bit more on that definition, technical sense, it says lacking some property, order, or distinctness of structure previously or usually present. And we're going to get into what is making them be degenerate. What is making them degenerate? All right, what are they lacking? What property, what order, and distinct structure are they lacking in their lives? Huh? It's the scriptures. It's the law, statutes, and commandments. The word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, which every creature is supposed to live by more than bread and fucking sustenance, man. This is our sustenance, man. All right. Yep. So the house of Saul is waxing weaker and weaker, going into it degenerating. Nothing stays stagnant. It only gets fucking worse. And we're going to go into, finish it off in 2nd Esdras 9:22 to see what ultimately, what they're born for, what their end is, and who the Most High has pretty much the only saving grace that the Most High has set up, that 1/3. All right, but here we're going to get this in Jeremiah 2:21. Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? All right. When you go into, let's first expound a little bit on the noble vine. The spirit, I should have got this right before 2nd Esdras 9, because it goes into that grape of the noble vine, right? That plant. All right, goes into that, but that noble vine is ultimately the children of the nation of Israel, all of the nation of Israel. But the noble within the noble vine within the nation of Israel, the noble of the noble, the Israel of Israel, is the 1/3. All right, known as the elect and the remnant. It said, how art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? All right, 2/3 of our people have degenerated from away from their heritage, from their people, from their customs, from the structure that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has set up for us to govern ourselves by, right? See, it says you've done that by following fucking the flesh, by following your own wicked heart and the heathen. But it's ultimately, it was up to the Most High. We're gonna get this to show you how spiritual and how how cold and just transcendent and highly intelligent the Most High in his design is. When you look at that word degenerate and it going into a plant and the vine, to degenerate literally means to go away from your race or your kind, from your genus. To go away from and generate or genus, meaning your race or your kind. To be debased from your race or your kind. Degeneratus, Latin, no longer of its kind. So you literally are not even fucking Israelites anymore. You're only Israelites by way of the blood that's flowing in your body. And that's not enough to just be an Israelite by blood. Israelites by blood are going to get fucking put to death. 2/3 of them. Okay? It says in Slack. Let's get that Eddie. It says, to degenerate, having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race or kind. How fucking deep is that? All right, so the degenerate plant is a group, namely 2/3, a group of the nation of Israel who have lost and suffered impairment to the qualities proper to our race and our kind. Okay? So they've discontinued from their heritage. And we're going to get that right now. So to degenerate means they've put off, they fucking abandoned their ways. The ways reserved for the nation of Israel from the foundation of the earth. Or righteousness, they've put off righteousness, they put off all goodness, the things that are that pertain to the law. All right? And primarily the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They have no reverence for the Heavenly Father, no acknowledgement for anything for any of his decrees and his requests. They completely fucking defy the Heavenly Father openly to his face, man. All right, my goodness. So to degenerate, and it goes in to be worse than your ancestors, to be worse than the generation before you. It says past participle degenerare, to be inferior to one's ancestors, to be unlike one's race or kind, to a fall from ancestral quality. My God, 2/3 of our people have actually fucking they've shitted on our ways and our customs, our heritage. They shitted on our ancestral qualities, man. All right, and put them off, away from your birth and your descent. All right, that's why, for a time, our nation, Israel, those so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans were completely fucked off and had no chance, no sight. The only reason why we're not is because the Most High started to wake up the elect in 1970 through Abba Bibbins, through how he said he was going to do it through John the Baptist, Elijah who would come again. All right, the form of Abba Bibbins. But as it wasn't for that, look at how far our people away from our customs our people have gone. See? It says in in Jeremiah 17:4, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So, we ultimately became that degenerate plant because the Most High set it up. All right, He set it up to weed out His elect, to destroy 2/3 of our nation, ultimately for a lesson, and then to bring them back righteous in the end. But to fucking to pretty much to get that learning point, they gotta get that grilled in. All right, and that goes into the Most High's anger that was kindled in us. See? All right, it says in 2nd Esdras, finishing off 9:22, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept in my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. All right, so that degenerate vine, that reprobate group, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the infidels, the ones that have performed infidelity, the ones who have been unfaithful to Yahweh Shem Shai. They were created to be destroyed. They're created for destruction, for that learning point, for the nation of Israel. Because if it was just for that, then they wouldn't come back in the loins of the elect in the kingdom. You see, that's why, and that's what it shows you. Because ultimately, they're going to be extensions of us. That grape that's going to be kept, it's them being kept as well through us. It's the only saving grace, the elect of our nation. All right, and you see it now today. The only ones that are standing up for our people are the elect of the nation of Israel, starting with the men of Great Millstone, apostles and elders on down. All right, and whoever else comes in their fashion. It says, for with great labor have I made it perfect. So the Most High is perfecting the elect in this time. All right, He's making it to where we're going through a refinement process through the fire. He's cleansing us. All right, and through hardship, we are being made hard. All right, that's that perfection. So the wicked, evil, degenerate, reprobate of our people are going to be destroyed. All right, and they're not hindering a goddamn thing in this time, but they're playing their part. And so may the house of Saul continue to wax worse and worse, and the house of David to prevail. All right, in the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, to prevail. All right, and that all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai, Ba'Shem Ruach Kadash. Shalom.